It started with silence. No warning. No radio chatter. Just a long line of Russian military trucks, grinding through the marsh roads north of Crimea, heading for a crossing point they thought was safe. It wasn't. For weeks, Ukrainian drone units had watched this stretch of land near Armyansk. They knew something the convoy didn't. They knew exactly where it was going to slow down. Here's why this convoy even existed. Weeks earlier, Ukrainian strikes had crippled the Convoy bridge, one of Russia's main supply lines into occupied Crimea. Traffic there had to stop. So Russian logistics commanders improvised. They rerouted trucks through the Marshlands near the North Crimean Canal, a slower, narrower, more exposed path. It was supposed to be the safe detour. But that's exactly what made it dangerous. Crimea depends on supply corridors. Cut the bridges, and Russia has to reroute through slower, more vulnerable land routes. Hit those routes, and the peninsula's entire resupply chain gets squeezed. This is what Ukraine has been building toward, not one dramatic strike, but a slow strangulation of the paths Russian forces rely on to keep Crimea armed and fueled. Every disrupted convoy makes the next one riskier. And every reroute funnels Russian logistics into terrain Ukraine already understands. This is where the story becomes bigger than Crimea. Military analysts have pointed to a pattern: Ukraine increasingly targets logistics, not just front lines. Fuel, ammunition, transport routes. Because an army that can't resupply doesn't need to be beaten in open battle. It just needs to be starved of what keeps it moving. That's the strategic logic behind ambushes like this one, and it's why Russian commanders have had to keep changing routes, timings, and methods of moving supplies toward Crimea. Nobody wants to be the next convoy that gets watched, waited on, and caught in the mud. Right now, this stretch of marshland is just one small piece of a much larger war over supply lines, one most people never see, fought with drones instead of headlines. But every convoy that doesn't make it through changes the math for what happens next in Crimea. And the next one may already be moving.